I never told anyone this story until now. It began on a rainy night, like any other, as I aimlessly browsed the depths of the internet. That's when I stumbled upon a subreddit called Paths of the Mind. At first, it looked like an intriguing puzzle game, but as I clicked, it felt as if the internet itself began to breathe, drawing me deeper. With each click, new corridors unfolded before me, labyrinthine paths that seemed to stretch forever. The subreddit promised answers, but the questions it posed seemed to whisper secrets I wasn't sure I wanted to hear. At first, curiosity kept me going, exploring each level as if I was peeling back layers of a forbidden book. The puzzles were intricate, each level more complex than the last. They revealed pages from an ancient manuscript, the text twisted and arcane. I should have stopped when I noticed the changes. Subtle at first, the way shadows in my room seemed to flicker, mimicking the labyrinth's dark corridors. But the thrill of the unknown kept pulling me back. Users on the subreddit shared similar experiences, some claiming they could hear whispers in the maze. Others mentioned feeling watched as they navigated the virtual paths. I dismissed it as paranoia until the labyrinth began to bleed into my reality. It was subtle at first, a shadow that shouldn't be, a chill down my spine when I glanced over my shoulder and found nothing there. The lines between the digital and the real were blurring, and I could no longer tell which was which. The labyrinth seemed to have a life of its own. One night, I received a message from another user, their words frantic. "Have you seen the journal entries?" they asked. Until then, I hadn't noticed the posts detailing experiences eerily similar to mine, each ending with warnings of not venturing deeper. But by then, it was already too late for me. I felt compelled to continue, convinced the answers lay just a few more levels away. But as I delved deeper, the phenomenon grew stronger. Shadows danced in my peripheral vision, whispers echoed in my ears, and a growing sense of unease settled in my chest. The labyrinth was consuming me. The community was buzzing with fear. A user had vanished, their account deleted, leaving only cryptic journal entries behind. Descriptions of a maze that seemed to twist and change, always leading them in circles. Their last post warned that solving the labyrinth was a mistake, but it offered no solutions. I should have stopped, but the more I read, the more I felt drawn to the challenge. I became obsessed, my waking hours consumed by theories and possibilities. One night, I noticed something new, a doorway that hadn't been there before, dark and uninviting, but promising answers. I hesitated, then entered. On the other side, the atmosphere was different, heavy with an oppressive silence. I felt watched, as if unseen eyes followed my every move. The air was thick with anticipation, and each step echoed loudly. I couldn't shake the feeling that something ancient and malevolent lurked within these virtual walls. A strange compulsion drove me forward, deeper into the heart of the labyrinth. The levels grew more sinister, and each page I uncovered seemed to pulse with dark energy. The book's text twisted like living tendrils, reaching out to me, whispering secrets I could barely understand. I was losing myself. I spent countless hours in that place, time slipping away as the maze tightened its grip. I could feel it seeping into my mind, warping my perception. The world outside faded, replaced by shadowy corridors and haunting whispers. I was trapped in a game where the stakes were my sanity. One night something changed. As I navigated the maze, a chill ran down my spine. I turned to find a dark figure watching from the shadows, its presence both familiar and terrifying. The realization hit me like a cold wave. The labyrinth was no longer a game. It was alive. Fear gnawed at the edges of my mind as I tried to retreat, but the paths had changed, twisting in ways I couldn't navigate. The figure followed, its presence heavy and suffocating. I stumbled through the maze, the shadows closing in, my heart pounding like a drumbeat of despair. In a moment of clarity, I realized the truth. The labyrinth was not digital. It was a manifestation, an ancient curse that fed off curiosity and obsession. Solving it was not meant to reveal answers, but to open a gateway. I had been playing into its hands all along. Desperate, I searched for a way out, but the walls seemed to shift and change, trapping me in an endless loop. Each turn led back to the figure, its eyes burning with a malevolent hunger. I could feel the curse closing in, my escape slipping away with each passing second. The realization was crushing. I had unwittingly become part of the curse. The labyrinth was alive, feeding off the fear and confusion of those who dared enter. The entity was crossing into the real world, using our minds as a conduit. I had to warn the others before it was too late. But the maze had already claimed me. As I frantically typed my warning, the words twisted and vanished, consumed by the labyrinth's insatiable hunger. I was trapped, one of the many souls lost in the maze, my warnings fading like echoes in the dark. The entity was unleashed. The subreddit fell silent, a void echoing with the whispers of the lost. Those who remained shared tales of shadows invading their lives, the labyrinth reaching beyond the digital. The curse had been loosed upon the world, and all because we sought answers to questions that should never have been asked. If you're watching this in the dark, remember, some mysteries are best left unsolved. The labyrinth is out there, waiting for its next victim. Subscribe to our channel for more stories that crawl under your skin and linger long after the lights go out. More tales of horror are coming.